Okay, we're going to get started tonight with our fifth installment of In the Dugout. This time, we're going to be going over gearing up for the tournament trail and also discussing local league and team fundraising. So tonight, we have a couple members of our staff on our webinar this evening, along with a representative from PushSave, who I'll introduce at the end of our webinar. So tonight, what we're going to do for our agenda is we're going to talk about some of the tournament trails to-dos. As we all know, as preparing for the tournament trail, there are several things that a local league or team have to do to prepare to get ready for the tournament trail. Then we're going to discuss Game Changer, that's scoring and streaming, Tourney Machine, which is brackets, scheduling, and communication tool. We're going to be talking about fundraising from PushSave. And we also are going to have everybody on the call tonight entered in a chance to win a Baseballism t-shirt. And I will actually show you that right now. And I'll also do it at the end, but we'll go over as to who's going to have the ability to win tonight's Babe Ruth t-shirt from our friends at Baseballism. So with that, let's get started with the tournament trails to do. And we have a couple different segments that we want to turn around and cover. And with that, I'd like to bring on Colleen Clarkson. Colleen is one of our league service representatives in our office. Colleen handles the Southwest region and also the New England region. And Colleen's going to be talking tonight about some of the chartering aspects and rosters. So with that, Colleen, I'm going to let you take us through step one.
Hi, everybody. How are you? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is chartering. The chartering deadline is coming up. It's May 15th. So if you haven't chartered yet, then you need to start working on that. It's pretty easy to do. All you'll need to do is go to baberuthleague.org and click on that 2022 chartering button in the upper right. You're going to log in. If you're an existing president, if you're a new president, you'll have to reach out to us here at headquarters so we can get an administrative account set up for you. When you log in, you're going to continue through to the chartering portal and make sure that you open and either update or verify the information in every module until you get the gray button that allows you to review and submit your charter request. At that point, it'll come to us and we can process it for you. If you have chartered, you can access the league portal in exactly the same way, going to baberuthleague.org, clicking on the 2022 chartering button and logging in. That way you'll be able to access your insurance certificate, your charter certificate, and all of that sort of thing. The next thing that you are going to want to focus on is your rosters for regular season. If you've already started playing, then those rosters should have been submitted already. But if you haven't done that yet, then it's just something that you'll want to get on as soon as possible, because if there is an insurance claim or anything like that, the first thing that they're going to ask for is to see a copy of the roster. To submit your regular season rosters, you're going to go to your league's sports sign-up site, click on the login button in the upper right, and it'll get you right into your system. If you are a CSV league, then you're going to just click on Get Started. And then in the upper right, there's a button there for creating your teams.
And
it'll
Colleen,
give you,
And Colleen, just real quick, just for those leagues that might not understand what CSV is, those are leagues that are doing it on an Excel spreadsheet and importing a CSV file is what that is, right?
Correct. So when you are in your sports sign-up system and you click on Create Roster, it gives you the option to download a copy of their Excel format. And then you can just fill your information in to that. One thing that you have to be very, very careful of is that you do not alter the format of that spreadsheet in any way. You cannot delete columns, move columns around, anything like that. Most of the columns are required information. You do not need a middle name or a jersey number to your regular season rosters. And for coaches, you don't need date of birth. Right through that system, it'll allow you to upload it. It'll tell you if you have any errors and allow you to fix them. If you find that you get stuck at any point, don't hesitate to reach out to us at headquarters and we'll be happy to help you with that. If you are an online reg system, then all you have to do is add your players that have already registered online to their teams and submit them that way. You will receive a message if you are trying to roster more teams than you chartered, which will actually lead us to our next area about ad drops. If you have rostered more teams than you've chartered, you'll have to go to baberuthleague.org into your league portal and do an ad drop. The ad drop deadline is July 1. It's a very important date because that's the last time you can really change your team counts. If you are going to be dropping teams and you do it after July 1, you'll risk not getting a charter credit or an insurance refund. And the way to do an ad drop is to go to baberuthleague.org, click on 2022 chartering, go into your league portal. You're going to go to manage teams, and then you'll see add or remove teams. Adjust your team counts as necessary and go ahead and submit that for review. If you have a credit, we'll process that here. If you owe anything, then you'll get a copy of a link to the copy of your invoice, and you'll be able to pay that online. Tournament teams. You can also sign up for your tournament teams in managed teams in the league portal. When you're in managed teams, you will see on the right an option to order tournament trail teams. And you will see an option for all of the age groups that correspond with your regular season divisions that you've chartered. They are broken down a little bit differently. You'll notice that if you chartered major teams, then you'll have an option for 11-year-old teams and 12-year-old teams. If you chartered rookie, you'll have an option for 7-year-old teams and 8-year-old teams. Go ahead and put in the team counts for how many tournament teams you're going to have. Continue through to the payment area. This you can pay by either e-check or credit card. And instead of having to wait a day, like when you have insurance processes and that sort of thing, this is almost immediate as far as communicating with the sports sign-up system.
So a lot of the leagues obviously have been up and running across the country by the time that we're now approaching, mid-May next week. A lot of leagues tend to sometimes want to wait to do those regular season rosters until it's time to get the tournament stuff done. And I know that you put July 1st on here for, the ad drop portion, which deals with the charter. But it's safe to say that leagues really should be focused on trying to get the league, local league season rosters up into the system, get all their team counts to match before they really need to come back in and do the tournament time. If they kind of wait to do everything, it does make it a little bit stressful if not everything irons out correctly, I would assume.
Absolutely. That is a problem. And then also, like I said, if there's ever, heaven forbid, there's an incident and there is an insurance claim, the insurance company is going to need a copy of that roster. So it's very important to get the rosters done as soon as possible. They really should be done before they start playing.
That's great. I know that a lot of them always want to wait, and I know that creates some challenges, especially as commissioners are looking to do their credential meetings, review credentials, and everybody wants to get everything going. But if they wait till the last minute, it does create a little stressful situation. So the more that they can get out in front of it, the better off they'll be.
It is. It's better for the league, and it's better for support as well. If they need help, when everybody's trying to get help at the same crisis time, then it sometimes takes a little bit longer for us to get back to them, which obviously is not what they need. So once you have all of your regular season rosters done, the next thing you're going to do is your tournament rosters. In the CSV system, this is very simple. The Excel upload system. All you're going to do is go into that managed teams area, and in the drop-down box for seasons, you're going to select the all-star season that corresponds to the rosters that you're trying to do, baseball or softball. You're going to click on the green button that says create tournament team and add just some basic information about your tournament team, the name and the age group, basically, which again will be that 7-year-old, 8-year-old, not minor or rookie or that sort of thing. Once you save that, you'll click on edit roster, and you'll have the option to add coaches or add players. Once you choose that, a menu is going to pop up on the left that allows you to filter the age group so that you only have to go through a more limited number of all of your regular season players and coaches. So if you choose rookie, for example, it's going to pull up all of your rookie players and coaches. All you have to do is put a check in the box next to any player or coach that you want to assign to the roster and say add to team. Then go ahead and submit those rosters and you're good. One thing to bring up, if you did not add jersey numbers to your regular season roster upload, you will need to add them in the tournament roster area before you can submit that. If you're an online reg league using Sports Sign Up, about the only real difference is that you're going to have to actually create your all-star season. It's pretty simple to do. You're just going to go into the registration area from your menu on the left and then go into programs. You'll see the sign or the screen that says active and future seasons. And then you're going to say create new season. In that new season screen, you're going to enter all of the information for your tournament season and just make sure that you check the box that says it's an all-star. And then you'll get a little drop-down box that you'll be able to choose the appropriate source session or season that you want to link the all-star season to, so that you can pull those regular season players and coaches onto your tournament rosters.
Colleen, we do have one question that did come in so far that I'll take now as we begin to advance. The question pertains to non-league players for Bat Boys, Bat Girls added to tournament rosters. The Bat Boys and Bat Girls that are placed on rosters, that option is available for local league play. They are not an option on tournament rosters. So even going back to our paper roster days back in 2012 and before, the team very well might have had Bat Girls or Bat Boys on teams. They usually work that out with the host or commissioner in charge of a tournament for them having access to the field, but they technically were not on the actual official tournament roster. So that helps with our first question of tonight. And with that, I think we can advance. Colleen, this is going to be an area that that obviously comes up. I know it's not as extensive as dealing with charters and rosters, but this is an area that local leagues should have already have taken care of in many areas, but they just want to make sure it's buttoned up for tournament time.
Right. So all of your managers and coaches should have gone through their background check and abuse prevention training before the season started. You will need to have confirmed all of that before they move into the tournament time. In order to do that, you have to make sure that you're registered as a Sports Engine background check admin. The easiest way to get there to do that is if you go to baberuthleague.org and then you click on resources and then background checks. That will take you to the directions page on the Sports Engine site where the background check area is. If you go under the area for league admins, you'll see the link there for you to register as an admin. Once you've done that, the way to view the report for your area is at the top of that page, you're going to see a tab that says background screens, and there's a down arrow. So click the down arrow and choose your region. That will take you to the overall report for your region, but there is also a drop-down box there where you can filter by your league. That will show you any volunteer in your league that has successfully completed the background check and or abuse prevention training. If they're not on there, it means that either they haven't started it, it hasn't been completed, it's pending, anything along the lines of that. So they have to be on that page to have successfully completed it and be approved for coaching.
Colleen, another area on the website that's also good for information, both on insurance related questions, but also with background checks, could be safe.baberuthleague.org. Is another one that we also reference to people as well. So I think that could be a good resource for people, at least understanding the background to the background checks and to the abuse prevention training and such.
Right. That has a lot more useful information that if leagues have questions about how the process works, et cetera, then definitely that's a really great resource for that. You don't actually have to supply anything for your tournament binder or anything like that for their background check. However, each coach will have to give you a copy of their APS or abuse prevention training certificate. They should have received an email with a link to that, or they can access it in their Sports Engine account. If they have trouble, they can always reach out to us and we'll be happy to help them. But that is something that they're responsible for getting to you as far as credentials.
Colleen, one thing I wanted to highlight to everybody before we move on to the coaching education side of it was on the background check for everybody. You know, as a reminder, our background check program was enhanced with enhanced screening. We made those changes back in 2019, and the rule changes in 2021, where a background check is required every 2 years. Abuse prevention training is part of the background check. And that is to remind everybody that the abuse prevention training is required under the Federal Safe Sports Act of 2017 that was signed into law in 2018 that requires volunteers working with kids, whether in sports, community programs, church groups, etc., that they have to take abuse prevention training. So those are requirements that are even federal mandates, not just a Babe Ruth league requirement.
The other thing that I wanted to touch on is the background checks are good for 2 years. So all of your volunteers will have to have a successfully passed background check for either the 2021 or 2022 season. While the abuse prevention training isn't required every 2 years, at this moment it's indefinite. We do suggest that your volunteers refresh themselves on it since it does come as part of the background check. So they could refresh themselves every 2 years when they redo the background check. Okay, the last thing to talk about here is the coaching certification or coaching education program. Every coach is required to take this for regular season and also for the tournament season. It is a one and done program, so they only have to take it once, and then it's good for their entire coaching career. In order to complete the coaching certification, they need to go to baberuthcoaching.org. It's a course that they take online. They take the test, they get a certificate. They are the only people that can log into their accounts. So you need to get a copy of every coach's certification. They're going to need to supply you with that. You won't be able to log in to get it. We can't log in to get it. So each coach is required to give you their own certificate for that, for your tournament binders, and also just for your league for regular season. If a coach is having difficulty, there is a 1-800 number on the Human Kinetics website. It is 800-747-4457, and they will be happy to help them get logged in if they're having trouble, or access their certificate if it's maybe, they took it several years ago and they don't have access to that anymore. Then they'll be able to assist them with that, but they'll have to get you a copy of the certificate.
Colleen, I really appreciate it. You taking the time and allowing everybody to see some of the other staff members that are working hard at the office every day. Even though we are working remote here tonight, as you can tell by my background, or Colleen's four-legged friend who Colleen is trying to keep busy there tonight, but that's fine. All's good. Colleen, I really appreciate you taking the time, and if we do have some questions later on, we may bring you back in, but thank you for taking some time here tonight.
Thank you.
All right. One of the questions that came in is the New Jersey Rutgers certification an available substitute for the coaching education? Yes, it is an available substitute. That program has been reviewed for many years now, and something that coaches can use in lieu of our particular program. I will say though that our program does have it is based around our rule book and our rules. However, we will accept that Rutgers one. So thank you for the question. All right, so moving on to our next steps here. I wanted to bring on another member of our staff who some of you definitely know from our prior In the Dugouts. Daniela Batoni has been stepping up in different directions this year beyond being the Ohio Valley service rep. Daniela has been filling in as the acting National Softball Commissioner, and is heavily involved with the behind the scenes with helping our leagues and teams prepare for the Babe Ruth softball, as well as the different Cal Ripken World Series. So Danielle is going to join tonight. And Danielle, I wanted you to see if you could take some time to explain to everybody about the letters of eligibility. Each year, a lot of leagues will call in, or even teams will call in. They're thinking that this is something that headquarters is doing. I think you want to explain to everybody where this is done and when the calendar really starts for when they're available, because this is something every year that some of the leagues are calling about.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Rob, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. So LOEs will be available to all the state commissioners starting on June 5th. They will be found in your commissioner tool off of baberuthleague.org. One thing I do want to mention before I get too deep into LOEs, because this comes up every year, is the red line that comes across the league names when you're going to approve the LOEs. Now, the red line means that the league has submitted team count changes to headquarters. We've locked their changes and we're waiting on payment. So until that payment is made, you won't be able to approve that LOA. So I just wanted to make you all aware of what that red line means, to maybe eliminate a phone call or an email.
And that's on the commissioner's side. The local league, actually, their account is actually seeing that they're waiting for the payment to get processed, or that they have a payment to make. That's what the local league would see. But the red line you're referring to is something that any one of our commissioners from district, state, or region see, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes. So you'll see that red line. If there is a red line, you won't be able to approve their LOE. If they don't have a red line, it's free game. You're able to approve that LOE and release it to the local leagues. State commissioners, starting June 5th, you can go on, start approving them. Once they are approved, the leagues can find their LOEs in their documents box in their league portal to print off and put into their tournament binder. Now, another reminder is if there's a Cal Ripken state commissioner or softball state commissioner, each commissioner would go in to approve that specific division. Cal Ripken can't approve softball or vice versa. So there is one LOE per division that the league has chartered.
And Danielle, and some parts of the country, I know in New England, as we visited a couple weeks ago for the regional meeting, New England's a little bit different than some of the others. They potentially have 3 commissioners in a state, one for softball, one for Cal Ripken, one for Babe Ruth baseball. But local leagues who are in states where the state commissioner is responsible for everything, then I'm assuming that they just have to worry about just the one state commissioner to reach out to.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So it would just be one state commissioner if one state has it. And then that LOE, print it off and write in your binder. It only has to be printed off once, and it just goes from tournament to tournament.
And you also mentioned about, you printing it off and putting it in the credential binder. When I print off ones for Cal Ripken, if I might be doing 8s, 9s, 10s, 1160, 1170, 12-year-old 70, there's not a different letter of eligibility for each one of those teams that I have to print off. It's basically one Cal Ripken letter of eligibility, and that's duplicated for each one of those books, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So if you have T-ball to major 70, you have that LOE that covers all those age groups, and that's the LOE that's used in the tournament trail.
Okay. So each team needs one, but Cal Ripken, you have the Cal Ripken one that covers all of your Cal Ripken teams, no matter how many ages. Just like if you have the Babe Ruth softball one that covers from 6 to 18U and stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, one
Okay.
LOE.
Okay.
And the other thing here is how to assemble your tournament credentials, what needs to go in the binder. You can also find what needs to go into the tournament binders in our local league guide that's found on page 50 and 51. So everything that needs to go into the tournament binder can be found there.
Now, we do have some regions we know across the country. I know the Midwest Plains have been very progressive in finding ways to kind of get moving away from binders and going to an online capability for reviewing binders. We're hoping one day that we can bring this to the national level, but if that option is there, that's something that I would assume leagues could talk to their state commissioner to see whether or not that's going to be the case, or if they're going to be doing it the binder way.
Yes, absolutely.
Danielle, one thing I know that's not on this slide, but when we talk about that binder, I think one of the things that I know that from back in the day that I have seen has been the fact that, we used to have the Babe Ruth ID cards. That's not something that's required anymore because the league roster, the league president, when they submit that roster, they are verifying that that roster is in compliance with all Babe Ruth rules and regulations. So that covers that all the players' ages are correct. We also, at the same time, want to remind local leagues that the ID card option is not there. They also do not have to put the birth certificates, and we would highly recommend not putting birth certificates and pulling them from the families, because if that binder gets lost, that really can be a big headache for the local league or the team manager to now have to go back to, parents to say, hey, the binder got lost somewhere. So even though the local league is going to be checking birth certificates ahead of time, it's not something anymore that needs to be in the book.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So is there any questions that you might have on the step 3 section? Oh, so yep, we have one. All right. So the tournament team cost, Danielle, I believe that the tournament team cost for most age groups is, I believe, $40 for the tournament team fee. I believe some of our older age groups in the 18U, like 16 to 18 baseball, I think is 100, I believe.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Yes. So I believe it's pretty well standard 40, and that's also in the rule book. It's also printed in the rule book for everybody. Yeah. So one of the other questions that came in about the letters of eligibility for Cal Ripken. So when the state commissioner approves a letter of eligibility for, let's say, Cal Ripken, the state commissioner very well could take that, sign it, and give it to the team and say that's good for your 12-year-old 60 team or your 12-year-old 70 team. They could turn around and do that. If the state commissioner will basically verify if the teams are good from team to team to make sure that their rosters are complete. But the way our letters of eligibility are written, the letter of eligibility is by division. It's not by age group. So it's a standard letter of eligibility, covers Cal Ripken. If the state commissioner wanted to hold the letter of eligibility because, let's say, for instance, all the teams are correct, but the local league didn't do their 9-year-old rosters, correctly, or they're appropriate, then the state commissioner could hold that letter of eligibility back for the league until it's actually done the way that they like. All the letters of eligibility, as Daniela covered, are by are approved by the state commissioner.
One more thing about the LOEs. If a league calls into headquarters looking for their LOE, we do refer them back to the state commissioner. So if you start getting some phone calls and emails about LOEs, that's because we gave out your info for them to contact you. Okay, so in here, we're going to be talking about ordering some supplies for the tournament trail. So we have our patches, our shoulder emblems, which can be found in our store off of BabeRuthLeague.org. You can purchase the cap emblems. You would have to purchase them with a hat through Pacific Headwear or Outdoor Cap. You cannot purchase the cap emblems separately. Cap emblems can take place of the official patch during the regular season, and part of the tournament trail. That patch is not allowed once you get into the World Series. And then also at headquarters through our store, you can also purchase pins. So we have the district, state, and regional champion and runner-up pins available at our store, and they'll be shipped directly from headquarters. And all with the shipping, you can do a ground, 2-day, or overnight. And that's all done through the store. Once you place your order, you'll have that option to select your shipping method. As far as uniforms go, we get some calls about sublimating patches. Sublimating patches can only go on uniforms for baseball if they're through Augusta, and for softball if it's through Decker. If it's from another company, they would need that official patch put onto the jerseys.
The Sonar heat press patch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then as far as rule books go, you want to make sure that every team manager and coach has a rule book. The rule books did go out to all payment approved charters. So your league president should have them. If you're in need of a rule book, you can purchase that in our store as well. Again, you can select your shipping, and then you can also purchase ebooks. You can do that through the Human Connects website, and you can actually look at the rule book through an iPhone or an Android. So it's an electronic version of our rule book.
So one thing that we know that supply chain has been a big issue across our whole country for various reasons, and has affected the world we live in here today. Let's face it. So let's talk a little bit about the supply chain on a couple different avenues here with some of the questions that have come in. First, any of the patches or items that you need from headquarters, we have them in stock. We did have a little bit of a problem earlier at this calendar year with our printed rule books, but we have plenty on hand. So when somebody does go to the online store and makes a purchase, depending upon if they want that shipped ground 2-day or overnight, they are going out Monday through Friday each day. So they would just pick the level of service for shipping that they want, and those items would go. So we have plenty of patches. We have plenty of rule books and such that are on hand inside the office to handle all of that stuff. One of the other supply chain issues have been on baseballs and softballs. Shipment for baseballs is scheduled to come in to Rawlings on May 22nd. Softballs are scheduled to come in around the 6th of June. So these are coming over to Rawlings themselves. Once Rawlings gets them unpacked, then they would be coming to us. And then those commissioners that ordered baseballs or softballs with headquarters earlier this year, that's when those balls would be dispersed to everybody. Supply chain did affect us even at the World Series level with headquarters. Those of you who have either hosted or been to a World Series, you know that we typically have orange and black lace baseballs for Cal Ripken World Series, red and blue for Babe Ruth baseball and Babe Ruth softball with the World Series marks. Unfortunately, this year, the balls have the World Series marks on them, but they are the standard red lace baseballs as they were many, many years ago and such. And that's just because of the fact that we did not want to risk not having what we needed for the World Series. And ironically, our order went in 2 weeks after Labor Day. So that's how concerned that we were. The next thing was, I know we've received a couple phone calls on, and Danielle, I know that you had a couple, is our partner with Augusta had a fire in Mexico at their sublimation plant, and how this was potentially going to affect things. Augusta, that is a plant that they were using that fire, and that story is accurate. They did have a fire that did occur, I think about 3 weeks ago now. Augusta does have a second factory that ironically was coming online for this year, and they are moving quickly to get that going. They did not lose everything inside that factory. So while they were affected initially, they are guaranteeing that they are going to be able to produce the turbo style jerseys, which are the jerseys that we do for the World Series. And they should be able to meet some of the deadlines. So if you have any problems with sublimation, contact us here at headquarters. We will put you in contact with Rob Kaufman. Rob is working with our Babe Ruth Authentics. He will work directly with Augusta for baseball teams. He'll work directly with Decker Sports for anything softball related. Decker was not impacted by Augusta's stuff, so the softball side is fine. But yeah, that did unfortunately affect Augusta pretty hard. And the good news is that nobody was hurt in the fire either. So let us know if you are having problems with an order that you placed or any issues. But even for the World Series, we do anticipate that Augusta is going to be able to make deliveries for everything. So with that, Danielle, again, thank you for taking the time tonight. And now I'm going to bring on Olena Feltis from our office. Olena has earlier this year was working in the Southeast region and the Mid-Atlantic. She's now exclusively in the Mid-Atlantic region. And Olena was going to talk a little bit about our trophy suppliers and the regions that they're responsible for. So Olena?
Hi, everyone. So again, I'm going to be talking about the trophy suppliers. We just want to let you know, you can see on the screen here, we have a list of the authorized regional award suppliers for your region that you would reach out to for your trophies as you go along in the process. We do want to encourage you to make sure that you do use those. And again, any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to us at headquarters. In addition, we just want to make sure with the progression of the awards during the tournament trail that you keep mindful of that, how you move forward with the awards and the sizes and the types that you're going to be using. And finally, you want to make sure you do coordinate that from the district to the state up to the regional level to make sure that the progression of the awards are moving along. And if you have any additional questions, again, please reach out to us or to the supplier in your region.
All right, Elena, I really appreciate it. And one of those areas that you kind of touched on that we wanted to highlight was about the progression of the trophy types or award types rather from district, state, and region. So for our commissioners out there that are part of the call here this evening, is that we really want you to really communicate with one another between levels and division within your state or within your region to make sure everybody knows what everybody is giving out for the different levels. The last thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that everybody has the flexibility to pass out the awards that they wish to do, those that like to do trophies, those that like to do medals. I know that some regions like to do plaques, etc. But what we want to make sure is that as you're advancing from district to state to region, that the progression of the awards might be getting a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer. We don't want to be up and down as we're going through the progression. So it would be really important for commissioners to communicate with one another along with their host sites if they're leaving it to their host sites to make determinations on awards. Elena, you had the fun one with just the trophy stuff. So Elena, thank you for tonight. Appreciate it. And I know I know not everybody got a chance to see it in the past on the Zoom calls, but at least the people in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast know what you look like now. So that's good when they're calling
There you go.
So, all right. Thank you, Elena.
Thank you.
All right. So the next area that I wanted to cover before we get into bringing on our guests tonight to talk about fundraising, which is something that you guys talk about in survey topics, is Game Changer scoring and Tourney Machine. Game Changer is the scoring platform, and Tourney Machine is a product that's available through Sports Engine. They're two different distinct products, and what I wanted to do was take a moment to kind of explain the differences between the two, both from a local league perspective and from a tournament perspective. So Game Changer is and has been probably one of the best scoring apps in the entire country for baseball and softball. Their app is by far one of the best that's out there, if not the best. It's very easy to use. You're able to really take anybody who's able to kind of genuinely score and work a tablet or iPhone and be able to score games. People are able to go on, see live scores that are following the teams or following the different tournaments. And it also allows for, keeping good stats. And the other thing that Game Changer is starting to do is that they are really starting to put a focus on live streaming. So they do have a feature in their new app. This is something we are going to be taking a deeper dive into later in the year and future in the dugouts, as well as possibly even some webinars specific for Game Changer. But it gives the ability for mom and dad to put a camera, or the coach or the league on the backstop, be able to score games, and also be able to turn around and live stream and get those feeds out there. So a lot of great technology is coming out from Game Changer, besides just being a by far one of the best scoring apps. Now, on the other side is Tourney Machine. Tourney Machine is a product that is owned and managed by Sports Engine, same company that handles our online registration and websites. Tourney Machine is also used at our World Series events like Game Changer, but Tourney Machine we use slightly different. Tourney Machine is great for building event schedules. So when you have, lots of teams, lots of brackets, you got multiple fields, it makes it so much easier to put the parameters in, build your schedules, build your brackets, whether you're doing pool play, seed play, just regular bracket play, makes it very easy. It also does a great job of keeping standings. Their tiebreaker rules are slightly different than what we have in the book. So you always want to refer to the Babe Ruth League rule book for tiebreaker rules. Typically, though, Tourney Machine is pretty much on the money. Where Tourney Machine gets a little bit out of our rule book is when you're dealing with three-way ties for teams, but generally it's very good for that. The other thing is that if you are a commissioner and you are running your tournament, if you collect good roster data, you can get the managers' emails and phone numbers along with coaches and players like we do at the World Series. And then if you need to make any announcements that are weather related, schedule changes, just want to update people on things that are going on, Tourney Machine has all those tools to be able to do that from a couple clicks on a computer or a couple taps on a tablet or phone, and you would be able to notify all your teams at once, and it makes it really easy. These are two really good tools to use and make life so much easier when running your tournaments, either at your local park as a host and a local league, or as a commissioner who's overseeing the many tournaments that you're going to be running this summer. I know that the last couple of years we've been using these exclusively at the World Series, and I can just tell you they're great resources and great tools. Makes things so much better. Okay, let me just check questions before I bring on our guests. Okay, a question about the cap emblem option. The cap emblem option, you are able to wear it to the World Series. That is a question that came in. It's not as if you have to take it off. The one thing about the World Series that's different now is that in most age groups for the World Series, they are provided uniforms depending upon the age group. So the sublimated marks for a shoulder emblem are on the uniform. For those teams that are in their regular uniforms, because we don't have those uniforms at the World Series, those teams would be required to put the patch on as well as the World Series patch. All right, we do that because that helps with the branding with photographs and such at the World Series. Okay, with that, I wanted to reach out as we do different surveys after these different in the dugouts. We're always asking for input, and one of the biggest things that I hear all the time is, well, we don't want everybody doing a sales pitch and stuff, but that's not what we're going to do here tonight. Because one of the things that a lot of people talk about is, how do I raise more money for my local league? How do I raise more money for my particular team that wants to go travel to states, to regions, possibly a World Series, and are looking for different fundraising options in which that make it easy to be able to do that. And with that, I wanted to bring on Mark Teckenberg from Push Save, and who is a brand new partner with us. Mark has been working with us here for the last couple months. We've already engaged in several leagues that have been working with him. We actually have one case study that Mark was going to go over tonight, but I wanted to bring Mark on to speak for about 5 to 10 minutes, explain what is Push Save, what does it do, and give some nuts and bolts to it. So Mark, welcome to In the Dugout. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to go through the 2 or 3 slides here you have tonight, and then maybe answer some questions.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Rob. And thank you very much. And hello, everyone. And thank you for this opportunity to be with you guys tonight and hanging on to learn a little bit about Push Save. So everybody loves to talk about fundraising, right, Rob?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody needs money.
So, first of all, kudos to you guys for, recognizing the growing demand for fundraising and the need to offset some of the expenses that are growing with youth sports, in particular baseball. And so really, that's what Push Save is here to do. So kudos to you guys for recognizing that. A little bit about how we came into this partnership is, as Rob was doing his research, they were looking for a really risk-free, easy setup fundraiser that offered really great profits. And through that research, that's how we connected. And so, on behalf of Push Save, we're grateful for this opportunity to work with Babe Ruth and your organization. So thank you for that. A little bit about Push Save. I'm going to dive into the details of this little bullet here that talks about fully managed fundraising service. And I'm going to explain what that means. But really, when we created Push Save, the whole idea was to work with youth sports to eliminate a lot of that volunteerism that goes along with fundraising. And one of our primary focuses is, I call it volunteer fatigue. And I'm a parent, I have kids, I've done it, I've coached, I've been in leagues, and there's a lot that goes into that. And fundraising is kind of that pain in the butt thing that we have to do that supports it to supplement some of our needs from a cost perspective. And so we want to kind of eliminate that. So we provide what we'd call a dedicated campaign manager for every league that you have out there, and or your competitive teams that are about to hit the tournament trail. Part of the profitability of this, on average, we're averaging about $100 per profit per kid. We can do that league wide, or we work with a lot of just individual tournament teams, competitive teams that travel that want to offset costs. And I'm going to go into that and give you an actual live case study. So depending upon your needs, we can support you league wide. We might be late to the party this year, but it's never too late to throw in another fundraiser. If you're looking for something next year that's new and unique, certainly look us up. If you've got competitive teams that are needing money as they hit the tournament trail, we're here to support you guys through this partnership. Push Save is nationwide and in Canada. Unfortunately, we're not in some of your outliers in the Bahamas and that, but we are in the US and Canada. So we can support you guys nationwide. And what that means really too, and I'm going to get into this in the product that we sell, but you can run a fundraiser in, let's say, New Jersey, but let's say you want to promote this and have someone support you that lives in Phoenix, Arizona. They can support you in Phoenix. The money comes back into New Jersey. So we're not like a localized fundraiser that has products and services where your kids go out and sell door to door. We're nationwide. Everything's digital. And we bring those external dollars into the league. So it's not just, again, I call it donor fatigue. Now you're asking your parents to continue to just pay and keep funding your league. You can go get dollars from outside the league. And our service provides great value to those that want to support you. So I want to explain to you a little bit about what Push Save is at a very high level. And one of the challenges of this, although it's crazy easy to run and do, it's kind of hard to explain. I actually need to do a demo for you to illustrate how it works. And so in the chat room, there's actually a link in there. It's pushsave.com/Babe Ruth. There's a little form on there. If you want to take the time, just go ahead and complete that form. If you want a demo, our campaign managers will reach out to you and provide a demo for you. And we'd be happy to do that. We'd love to support you any way we can there. So I'm going to talk at a very 30,000 foot view here, just talking about how Push Save works and what it is. So if you think of a traditional fundraiser where you order in a bunch of product, then you send the kids out door to door selling product, and you have this big delivery day, kids are collecting money, you're tracking everything. It becomes a very laborious process for an association and a league, and it requires a lot of manpower and a lot of work. We do all of that for you. And if you think of a coupon book or discount card, that's really what Push Save is. It's a digital coupon book on your phone. So if you're like me, I'll leave my kids at home before I'll leave my phone at home. So I always have my phone with me. I never leave home without it. And my coupon book is always with me. So we brought that archaic method of a traditional coupon book and brought it into the 21st century, and it's digital. So the kids would promote this using our system, which is extremely highly automated. We have quick links. It's a simple, easy way for them to join the fundraiser. We provide all the full customer support, customer service. We have easy, quick links to promote it. And not to mention, our company provides incentives for the kids that they actually earn points for when they're selling, so they can get little prizes as part of our program. And so it makes it kind of fun for them. So league-wide, you can send the link out, people can join, they can promote and sell. We connect our system to your bank account. The money flows right in electronically, right into your bank account. Within 24 to 48 hours, you have your money in your bank account. Or I'll give you an example of like a competitive travel team. Let's say that there's 10, 12 kids that need to raise money for the tournament trail. They want to do it to pay for hotel fees or whatever. We can do what we call a team up. And we create a little team bonding event. We do a Zoom just like this with our campaign managers, and we have actual additional prizes at those team ups. So they'd be calling and texting and sending out social media links, and people can come support them, and we provide prizes as part of that. So it's a digital coupon book on your phone. Let's say that you promote it to somebody that doesn't necessarily want the digital coupon book, but they see the value in it. They can buy it, and then they can gift it to a friend or family, maybe a secretary, whatever. So they can buy it and gift that digital coupon book. Again, super quick links that enable them to do that really efficiently. And by the way, as I'm talking about that, Rob, for those that are participating tonight and joined us tonight, if you go to that link and complete that form to reach out to us, we're going to gift you guys Push Save digital coupon book just to check it out, have in your hand, go use the coupons and enjoy the savings. And the last thing that we offer as part of this service that they support the teams is a cash donation platform. You guys have seen this. This is a growing thing where there's where people will just donate cash to support the kid or the team or the league. We have that built right into the system. And again, that plays right into the seamless method in which kids can promote. We give the consumer 3 options. Very hard to explain. You need to demo it. So I encourage you to go on that link and connect with us. And we'd love to connect with you and have a conversation. So that's really what Push Save is. Rob, are there any questions or thoughts on that?
Well, I think that one of the things that I wanted to highlight is sort of what you have here, Mark, is the fact that, there are different, fundraising options out there for people. But the one thing from the Babe Ruth Lake side that was most notable on when we were looking at going with a partner here was the fact that yours, as you described it, actually offers, multiple ways of fundraising. So you have the coupon, book portion, that's digital, and it's also local. You have the cash, platform for those that were just looking to do the cash donation type thing. So the idea that there's multiple ways in which that people would be able to support the league or the team, and it's all in one versus just picking one exclusive way to raise money, was something that we thought that would be beneficial for the leagues and the teams that take part. And I know, for instance, we had the case study that was on the next slide that of a league that already responded to you through one of the email campaigns that we did last month that started doing their fundraising in, I think it was Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, Fargo, North Dakota. They had a competitive team that was a travel team that wanted to raise money to help offset some of their travel expenses. And they had 10 players on this team, and we set up this little rally, team up for them. And within an hour, that was an hour, Rob, they raised $2,658. That's $265 per player in an hour, just using and following our system and working with our campaign manager. And something to note about that I touched on a little bit too is, this was in Fargo, North Dakota, where they ran this fundraiser. This is one of many case studies, by the way. We have tons of these case studies that we continue to build on. But a lot of the dollars that they raised through this, Rob, and again, I have to do this in a demo, they would promote this. So for example, if I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, and my aunt lives in Phoenix, Arizona, I can send her the link. The first thing she's going to do is hit create a book to buy a book to support little Jimmy. She can then go in and enter in her city. And we have a list of businesses in that city that she gets to go and pick her favorite businesses and to create a book where she lives. So the book is in Phoenix, Arizona. So she's getting value out of that. And the money's coming back to Fargo to support that kid. So when I talked about external dollars coming in from outside the community, that's really what I'm talking about.
No, that's great. I think that it's a new, refreshed way of fundraising in the world of, fundraising ideas. I definitely think that you guys are onto something. I know that's why we were intrigued by it, because we thought it was most beneficial. It was good to see that one of the leagues out the gate did as well as it did in 1 hour to raise that kind of money. So I think it's really good.
I was informed by our head of sales today that there was one that was better than this. The kids were averaging over $350. So, that was 12 kids. So, we've got all kinds of case studies like that. So again, I appreciate the time. We're grateful for the opportunity to work with you guys and your organization. And we'd love to connect with you. Just go to that form, complete that. You reach out to us and we'll gift you guys a digital coupon book to check it out. And let's help you guys raise some money.
That's great. Hey, Mark, before you go, I just had one question that did come in. Somebody wrote, what is the cost of the Push Save digital coupon book?
Yep.
Can you-
So we retail the book for $30, and the average, I'm happy to say the average savings per consumer nationwide, the average consumer savings is $70. The value of the book is somewhere between $500 and $600 that they're getting in value. And I didn't go into this, but every consumer gets to pick the businesses they want. So they customize it based on their preferences. Our consumers nationwide are saving 70. So they're coming out ahead net $40 on that. $30 per book.
That's great. That's great. Well, listen, Mark, I know that, obviously in order to get really into this, I know when we did our calls, it takes a good 20, 25 minutes to really drill down into a detailed level and how it would be for, an individual team, local community. But I really do appreciate you at least introducing Push Save here to everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, Rob. Thanks for letting me jump on, and thank you everybody for your time.
Okay. So one of our other partners that we talked about earlier in some of our In the Dugouts was Baseballism. Those of you who are interested in buying some different baseball apparel, they have some great apparel that's out there in the marketplace. They're great Father's Day gifts, Christmas gifts, all different kinds of things. I know I'm a big fan of some of the ones that they have here. We do have this Babe Ruth shirt that we're going to give away here tonight. I did want to show you my favorite that I've seen on theirs, which is actually has the Babe a little bit, and that is on the front here. It has his number, and then it has all his stats and stuff. I know that this may not be the best ideal way of doing it, but I hope you're bearing with me doing this from home here tonight. But I love their shirts, and they have all different kinds of stuff. They have things geared to teams and everything. So what we're going to do here tonight is that the third person for the Babes number 3, the third person to log in tonight is going to be the recipient of this Babe Ruth t-shirt, just for taking time here tonight. We do have for everybody, those of you who are interested in purchasing or looking at their website, they have things on Babe Ruth the man. They have things with Ken Griffey Jr., all other some other different sports figures. I'm actually wearing a shirt here from the Field of Dreams collection in Iowa. A lot of great stuff. You are welcome to take a look at their site. It is baseballism.com, and there is a 20% coupon. If you use Ruth22, you'll get 20% off your next purchase. So go take a look at their website, and it's just some really great baseball products that are out there for people to turn around and have as a gift. And if my kids are watching, I hope that they turn around and see the shirts that I'm interested in for Father's Day in another month or so. Okay. With that, let me see if there's any other questions that are here. Okay, so the alternative uniforms this month, the question from Ed Matthews. Okay, so this is for Cal Ripken, and this was in certain regions of the country. This is going to be delayed this year because of some of the supply chain issues that have occurred. That would make it a little bit bumpier to be able to roll this program out on even a pilot program that we were doing. Ed, I'm going to put my email here, and you are welcome to contact me, and we can set up a time where we can talk about your situation directly and see if we're able to help you out locally with anything that might be impacting you on. But the commissioners were right, but we did have to pull back because of the issues with the supply chain. We want to make sure that when we do go to change that program, that it is actually gets up off the ground solid. And we do believe that will be the case for 2023 in most of the country. Okay, I think we've answered most of our questions. So, we were a little bit longer here tonight, but I think that you guys have all taken away some information for the tournament trail that's upon us. It's hard to believe after going through the winter and everything that, we thought the season was about to get started, and here we are nearing the end of regular season play in many parts of the country. And just in a few more weeks, we'll be ending school in many places and getting ready to get going on the tournament trail and getting going on the World Series. So I want to thank everybody from my office here tonight, Olena, Colleen and Daniela for taking part. They're obviously in the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 for you guys to reach out to at the 800 number. I want to thank Tony Tucci, our Pennsylvania State Commissioner, for helping behind the scenes. Maureen Barone from Media Vision Creative that helps us produce these in the dugout pieces. And Mark Teckenberg from Push Save, who did a great job tonight of giving you guys a high level view and a discount on a coupon book that I hope that you guys take them up on. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up tonight. We are going to take this, edit it up a little bit. We'll email everybody who took part in tonight's presentation, as well as put it up on the website, probably within the next week. And please, check out baberuthleague.org. We do have things for, chartering ending as Colleen went over here earlier tonight, but we also have our Harder to Babe promotion that's available for local leagues where they can nominate a player that doesn't cost anything. A lot of great information on there at baberuthleague.org. So thank you again to everybody taking time out of their busy day. And we'll see you either reaching out to us at the office at headquarters, or we'll see you on the next in the dugout. So thanks, everybody.